Hello and welcome to Storyboard. We are at Goa and we are attending Designyatra. Over the past 2 days, we've seen some fantastic presentations, fantastic design work, and it made me stop and wonder why we don't see such good work in India. To discuss that, I've got a guest panel of 3 eminent designers. One is Lulu Raghavan from Landor, I've got Prasanna Sankhe from Hyphen, and I've got Lucy Unger from Brand Union. Welcome to the 3 of you.
Thank you.
Prasanna, so what's the answer? Why don't we see great Indian design work?
I think, Anand, there are a lot of factors which are going around this. It's not that we are not trying, but I think we are just slightly behind our design curve, and there are various factors. So, as we go along, I can elaborate on these, but there is...
Give us a few factors.
Firstly, I would say is the investment on time, right? Great design becomes better only with time. Right, no matter what is the amount of money you're putting in it, time is an essential component.
Isn't it time and money? Isn't it?
Money is less so, but time is more so. Time, you can sit on a design for 2 days, you can sit on a design for 10 days, and the 10-day design will definitely be better. Right. There is no question about it. And the slight, I would say, stinginess on time is costing us a little bit of that edge that you see in the international work. Just the finesse and the quality and the production that is there in the time that's spent on a piece of design, that's missing with us.
Lulu, you want to add to that?
Anant, I think it's bigger than that. I believe the fundamental issue is that our business leaders don't believe that creativity actually contributes to business success. For me, that's a bigger mindset issue. I do agree with Prasanna that the time pressure which then gets put on designers to create work, there just isn't the time and space to think. And then from our side, from those who actually create the work, that desire to really push and to spend, that every second that we have to perfect the craft, to take it to a higher level, I think it's there with a few people, but not across the board. We just want to get it done and get it out, versus actually making it as gorgeous and beautiful and as at the highest level that it can be.
Lucy, you want to add to these two before we discuss other issues?
Well, I mean, I agree very much with Lulu, and I think someone in the last couple of days has just said that creativity is probably the last legal edge that someone has in business. But I think it's incumbent upon us as designers to be impressing on our clients the value that creativity and strategic thought behind creativity can add to their business. And, it's by selling that value and how we can give them that unique edge that is actually going to then liberate the thinking around the time spent on great design.
Right. Prasanna, you worked on the advertising agency side of the business as well. Now, we are completely used to seeing films which cost 2 crores and 3 crores and 4 crores, and they are on air for a month and then they disappear, while say Great Identity could cost 2 crores, 3 crores, 4 crores, and people say no, 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs. Why does that happen? Because one is lifetime and one is transient.
Yeah, so it's a strange situation, Anant, and I would like to put a little of that onus on the designers themselves. Right, I'm sure that the client education can be taken to a next level, and I spoke to Rajesh Kejriwal yesterday, and I was delighted to know that over 60% of the attendants this year are from the client side. It's a very good sign. But the fact is that designers, we as designers have an incumbent burden to prove the value of design, because design can be such a great business enhancer. It's not a fact of, and exactly like you said, a corporate identity is for a longer span than a film. But somehow clients have taken upon themselves, and they've got to know that advertising can enhance their value, but somehow they're not seeing the same of the design.
But isn't that a little stupid? Because we're passing a hoarding, and at a glance I see a logo and I know what ad it is. I've not seen the ad, but there is a multiplier for the client. There is a gain for the client. So why don't clients see that?
And it's a very strange case.
I mean, not just the logo; it's the identity, the colors, the fonts. I see all that at a glance.
And it's true of product design as well. Everybody talks about Apple's product design and how it's helping the company be valued at what it is today. But strangely, when it comes to implementing in it, I think we are just missing a few pieces.
Right, Lulu, I'm going to talk to you and sort of provoke you a bit. I see people in advertising and PR and design and so on. And I find in design, particularly in India, you have wonderfully talented people at the top and a huge drop to the next level, which I wouldn't see in the largest of advertising agencies, for example. Why does that happen?
Why do you say that though? I mean, what is the proof point to say that the junior team is not as talented?
Maybe they're not as vocal, maybe they're not
I think that's
out
the
there.
issue, Anand.
So, yeah.
I think we do have a lot of good talent, but I think the way our education system sometimes gets in the way of how we articulate our ideas, how we express our ideas. And so even in client meetings, we have loads of talented designers, but I'm always pushing them to speak up. They do have a voice, but they just haven't, nobody's actually given them an opportunity in front of a CEO to actually express their opinion.
So is that a failure of the design business?
It's a failure of the leadership of agencies, where the senior leaders are always in the lead, always having the conversations with the clients, but many times, and we were talking about this the other day, the client actually wants to talk to the person who created the idea in the first
Which is
place.
where I said advertising perhaps has got it right. You know, the client knows, say, the number 2, number 3, number 4 at Low. He knows the number 3, 4, 5 at JWT, 6, 7, 8 at Ogilvy. And in your 3 companies, I know Lulu, I know Prasanna, and I know Lucy. I don't know anybody else. And when I say I don't know, it's not there in the public space.
But I mean, I think just comparing agency life here with agency life, say, in London, which is where I was most recently, it's business here is much more hierarchical, and it's much harder, however talented you are as a young person, to get a voice at the table, because it just doesn't happen that way. And I don't see it happening at clients as well as in agencies. You know, all the business is done up here, and although, you know, the work might all be done down here, and I think that's a problem. But I also think that one of the most important things I think about creativity and design is to be able to say why. Why have I designed it this way, and how is it going to benefit your business? And it's incumbent on us to be making those links really strong and really clear, so the people that can articulate them and the reason why the design is going to help you. So all of those things need to start coming to the fore in order for design to have a voice. But I'm also wondering, just in terms of corporate identity, I don't know what you guys think, that people sort of see it as the background. It's kind of the backdrop as opposed to the sexy campaign. You know, it's the thing that sits there day in, day out. And of course it gets sort of not nascent, but it's a subliminal recognition as a result of that. But it's not where all of the sex lies.
Right.
But you know, Lucy, I think it's also because we're so logo-centric.
Yeah.
We as agencies are not. Our clients are very logo-centric. What does Brand Union do? What does Landor do? It's about the logo. But actually we're creating so much value beyond that.
So much depth.
Exactly, in terms of answering the question of why does the company even exist, what's its reason to be, and then how does this translate into a core idea for what the company stands for, and then how does that manifest in all the touch points, not just the logo. And that's where things are going. Last week, I don't know if you heard the HPR interview with Indra Nui, and she shockingly said that user experience has entered the vocabulary at Pepsi for the first time last year. Her senior managers didn't even know what user experience actually meant.
But then, why is it, I've most recently come from Fitch, why is it that retail design is not valued in this country? It's not valued.
I'll get to all 3 of you on this. Has the industry in India failed to tell the story of what it does, what value it adds to the brand, what value it adds to the bottom of the business itself?
It certainly is. It is the case of that.
Right.
I think we as a industry are underselling our potential and seeing the further reaches of how it's affecting your business. I think there needs to be a strong demonstration to every client in every presentation how this identity, how this experience, how this retail design is ultimately going to add to your business.
And
I think we are failing to.
Sorry, what client is not going to buy that? I mean,
that is the point. If he doesn't know
but that is changing, Anant. You were there at the Brandsy launch. There were lots of India-based data to show how the index of stronger brands outperformed, an index of
But that's
companies that are
brand
not
equity,
invested
which
in
will
brands.
include advertising and
True,
all
but then
marketing.
our work feeds into, all of the touch
but
points.
people fail to see that is my point. So, like she said, it's subliminal. It's there.
That's where the onus is on us.
I've got a very nice example of Vodafone, which is a brand union client globally. The
That was a good pitch.
the recent change to the rhombus design, so simple and so beautifully thought through as a piece of intellectual design. We can demonstrate the millions that it saved Vodafone on its bottom line because of being able to centralise production to a single design around the world for SIM cards, etc. And on it goes. And those types of things, what client is not going to want to buy that ability to think of those systems that are subliminal? How much do you think about the design of your SIM card, except you know that it's Vodafone? And you know that wherever you look, these are the cues for Vodafone. And that's priceless.
We're going to take a short break here. When we come back, we'll explore solutions rather than just crib about the state of design in India.